what it takes to build the brand designer of the future for Brandingmag. They gave me so many great insights, I wasn't able to fit it into one interview, so I'm publishing each interview here. Today you'll hear from Sig Gross, Chief Creative Officer at 160/90. First of all, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your own background and current role in brand design.
Right. So again, Sig Gross, I'm Chief Creative Officer for 160/90, and I lead the Newport Beach office for 160/90. And we have quite a few offices. We have an office in Philadelphia, which is our base. And then we have a few satellite offices, Newport Beach being one, Gainesville, Florida, as well as a new office we just opened in Columbus, Ohio. So my background comes from the advertising world. I grew up in the industry as an art director, sort of grew into the creative director role, and then was really excited about some of the work that I've seen 160/90 do over the years, and migrated into this company, which is really known for being experts in the branding space.
People often think of brand design as only graphic design. But what do you see as a range of skills a good designer needs to have today?
Well, for us, we are solving big business problems for our clients. So when it comes to design, it's not just making pretty things. You know, it's really about cracking and developing big ideas, and that's based in strategy. That's based in problem solving, you know, for those clients that we serve. So the skills are really broad. You know, there are a lot of agencies and a lot of firms that hire very specific designers. So that could be, you know, in the digital realm, in the print realm, in the video realm, what have you. But the way we base and we judge the types of talent we bring in here, they have to be good at a lot of things, because if we are solving problems for a business or, you know, a client, we want to do that in a very unique way, in a very successful way. So that means approaching it from a lot of different angles. That could be, again, it could be a digital solution for it. It could be an architectural solution for it. It could be an environmental solution for it. So we really look for people that can develop big ideas, but then solve them in a lot of different ways.
Right now, design thinking is a really big buzzword. As design takes on a more strategic role, how much does an individual designer have to be both left brain and right brain?
I think that's really key, and I think if you look at the 15 years we've been in business, that in our process, the creative part of the creative team members are involved from that research discovery phase. They're involved, you know, they're interviewing, and we're all interviewing those stakeholders at a company or an institution. The designer is also involved in strategy development all the way through that strategy development into the creative development itself. So for us, that process has been in place from day one. So, you know, that type of thinking, I think, is critical, and I think at the end, big ideas turn into big solutions, which, you know, end up supplying amazing results.
How do you think emerging technologies like virtual reality and AI will impact a brand designer's job?
I think, you know, if you look at, you know, over the decades, there's always going to be new technologies and new tools that are there. So it's awesome to have more tools, you know, in the toolbox per se to use. So I think the impact, we'll have to see. You know, there are a lot of technologies that come and go pretty quickly, and we tend to embrace them, but also give them time to mature to see if they are viable enough, or find spaces that they can be used to, again, solve real problems, not just to use them because they're a trend at the time.
Speaking of AI, can you envision a time when design bots are going to do most or all of work, or will we always have to have a human behind the ideas of design?
Yeah, I mean, to the first part of the question, absolutely not. You know, when the first Macs came around, the first design programs and things, everybody worried that computers were going to take over, and now there's talk about robotics and other types of intelligence. But I think, one, I think humans need to develop the big ideas, and two, I think there's craft involved. I think people are more aware of craft than ever before, and I think that's a human endeavor and a human virtue that needs to be captured, and I think will always, in the future, be relished and be looked for in all the things that we do.
Branding and design is ever-changing, very rapidly. Can you think of an example of a really exceptional design effort, yours or somebody else's, that has taken good advantage of some tech or cultural change?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is the Jay-Z Decoded book that came out. This is dating a little bit. It's about 2012 maybe it came out, but what was really brilliant there was the agency, I believe it was Droga5 at the time, had a client, Bing, search engine, who was struggling, of course, against Google to find their place. And they were able to use their technology, this new book that was coming out, and taking parts and pieces and pages of this book and putting it all over the world, creating a contest for people to then find it and collect it and be the winner of a contest. So it not only took a different form of media that Jay-Z was using, this book, but then this search engine and social media and different tools to create excitement around it and to promote not only Jay-Z's book, but also, the Bing brand itself.
What would your advice be to young designers in terms of the mindset and skill set they are going to need in order to succeed in the future?
I would say, focus on developing big ideas. That's the key to sort of the big solutions that the world needs and our clients need, and expose yourself to as much problem solving and as much inspiration as one can, right? So don't focus on one sort of medium or one way of solving problems. Really sort of step away from the computer, step outside, try to experience other things, do some research, and just broaden your mind as wide as possible.